So are you able to see my screen, right? Hello, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yep, thank you. Yeah, myself, I'm a Hari Krishna Jeruku. I'm AWS Solution Architect and DevOps Consultant. So I'm the founder of Blue J Technologies. So something like I'm a AWS Certified Solution Architect and Certified Kubernetes Administrator and ITL Certified and Red Hat Certified Engineer, and I am a Red Hat Certified System Administrator. And I'm a Terraform Certified Associate and GitHub Certified Associate, you guys. I have been 12 plus years of experience as a solution architect and DevOps consultant. I started my career as a Linux. Then I started. Uh, then I started AWS Cloud Technologies. Then I moved to the DevOps. Then now I am a solution architect for designing and implementing the operational infrastructure, guys. Okay, so 3,500 students I trained. I've been into Udemy, Simplilearn, and 360 degree, Sudarga Soft, and Blue J Technologies, Galaxy Technologies. I've been into more institutions, guys. So what we discussed today, we discussed about the software development life cycle. So the complete journey from requirement to a running application. So you already heard about that something like the SDLC, right, guys? So what is SDLC? How many people does know what is SDLC? Why SDLC, guys? So if anyone can let me know what is SDLC, why SDLC? Yeah. So what is that SDLC? If you want to develop any software, if you want to develop any software, we need to follow the SDLC methodology. SDLC is nothing but a software development life cycle. What is that, guys? Software development life cycle. So requirements and development, code review, build, test, deploy, and monitor. So developers focus on application code and business functionality. Something like whatever you are a developer, you are something like learning Python and Java, right? So what you will do? So you will develop the code and so that for the business functionality. For example, you write a code for the Facebook, WhatsApp, or something like a banking application or insurance application, whatever the domain is. So you are developing that. You are focusing on application code and business functionality. So testers, you already know that, right? So once you develop the code and who will test the code, the code will be tested by the testers. Testers validate the functionality, quality, and user experience. DevOps concept, development, testing, and infrastructure and deployments, guys. So what that DevOps will do? The DevOps will do deployment, testing, infrastructure, and deployment. So where does the development start? Where does the development start? Developers create and validate the application before sharing it to the team, right? Developers develop the code. Developers write the Java or Python application code. Application is developed and tested locally. Dependencies are managed using Maven, Gradle, pip, or npm. Code is committed and pushed to the Git. Okay. For example, something like a clients want a WhatsApp or Facebook. WhatsApp app or a Facebook app. This the client came into the picture and the ask to the this application. So what procedure we will follow, guys? We'll follow the SDLC model. So what is SDLC? SDLC is nothing but a software development life cycle. What is that? SDLC is nothing but a software development life cycle. How we can develop the software and give it to the client. Okay. So initially what they are using waterfall methodology. Nowadays we are using the Agile methodology. Once the Agile methodology came into the picture, that DevOps came into the picture. Okay, what development team will do when you develop the code. So the whatever the client, right? First understand the client requirement. So based on the request, developers develop the program for the Facebook or a WhatsApp and test the program. So once they are implemented in their laptop and they will test it and keep the code in the repository. Keep the code in the repository. For example, guys. So how many environments we have? For example, how many environments? So we have, so 1 second, message is not responding. It's opened multiple. Okay, guys. It's already recording. Okay. So what I want to tell is TLC. 1 second. So what is that? SDLC. What is SDLC? So SDLC is nothing but a software development lifecycle. What is software development lifecycle? So whenever you want a client to request a software, we need to follow the SDLC model. So we need to follow the SDLC model. So what it will be in the SDLC? SDLC is nothing but a software development lifecycle. So in the software development lifecycle, so what people will work, who is involving on the SDLC. Okay. Yeah. So what is the SDLC, guys? SDLC is nothing but a software development lifecycle. What is that? So requirement analysis and design, implementation, testing, and evaluation. So what is the requirements, guys? So for example, you want to build the software. So what you want to build the? You want to build a software like Facebook or WhatsApp or anything. So Facebook or WhatsApp or so Facebook or WhatsApp or something like you want to build this software. First, we need to get the requirement analysis and then design it. So design the application. So who will? So here the application architect. So application architect and solution architect will involve. So application architect is nothing but how the application UI looks like, and the solution is where we need to deploy the code. So we need to deploy the code in the cloud or a on-premise environment that will be designed by the solution architect. Application code will be designed by the application architect. So implementation team. So something like a build the solution with the clean and efficient code. So here you guys are evolving in the implementation where the developers will work. Developers will work on the build part, building and solution with the clean, efficient code. So then testing team will test the application. Then deployment DevOps team will deploy the application into the dev. So DevOps team will deploy the application into the either production or deploy the application into the cloud, any cloud, for example, AWS, GCP, or Azure. So, right now we understood the dev to deployment. So, the development team develop the code and the deployment team will deploy the application. So, we have a environments, guys. So, if you joined as a software engineer, if you joined as a company, right? So if you joined as a company, so in the company, so we have a two, three environments are there, guys. So we have a two, three environments. In that environments, what are those guys? So we have a two, three environments are there. So what are those environments? So those environments are development team and development environment and so development environment and so dev and QA and production environment. So what are those? Dev, QA and production ENV. So what are those environments? The environments are dev environment and QA environment and production environment. So production is nothing but a live environment. What is that? A dev environment, development environment, and QA environment and prod environment. So the prod environment is nothing but a live environment. So prod environment is nothing but a live environment. So the end user or a client will be using this environment. So the client will be used this environment. So for example, end users. We are the end user for the WhatsApp. We are the end user for the Facebook. So these three environments will be so in the company. So development team, developers will develop the code and test it in the development environment. So the QA team, testers will test the application in the testing environment. So finally it will deploy into the production environment. So where we can deploy this application? So we can deploy this application in the either on-premise data center environment or a production environment. Which environment, guys? Data center environment or a production environment. For example, AWS is the cloud provider. Who is the cloud provider, guys? AWS is the cloud provider. So AWS is the cloud provider. So okay. So for example, how many environments we have? So we have a development environment and testing environment and production environment. So what is the development environment? So build the solution with a clean and efficient maintainable code. First developer develop that code and test it in the development environment. Then the QA team will test it in the testing environment. Will deploy the same application in the testing environment and they will test it and ensure the quality through rigorous testing and identify the defects in the production environment. This is the final so live environment. Production deploy the application to the live environment and so live environment and and uh, and that deliver to the value. So what is that? So continuous deployment and continuous delivery, continuous integration and continuous deployment we will deploy it. So this is nothing but a development team and QA team and a production team. Something like development team will test the application in the development and the application team will test the application in the testing team will test the application in the testing environment. So this is the production environment. Production environment is nothing but a live environment. Production environment is nothing but a live environment. Guys understood? Now SDLC. Guys speak out guys. Understood or not?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
right? Yes. Yeah. So now you understood SDLC. So development to deployment. So right. So developer develop that code and test it and then QA. It will be deployed in the QA environment. They will verify the functionality and UI everything. If there is any bugs, they will revert back to the development team. Development team again develop the code and test it in their development environment. Then will pass on to the QA environment. So once it is done, then we will deploy into the production environment. Production environment. So what is that? Git provides a version control and collaboration for the application teams. So Git stores and tracks, guys. So something like if you want to learn, so if you want to learn AWS and DevOps, you guys can subscribe my channel. My channel name is Blue J Technologies. You guys can subscribe my channel. So all the cloud and Linux related information will be keep it in my my YouTube guys. Why this is because this is my channel guys. You guys can subscribe it. Blue J Technologies. So I'm providing all the Linux and AWS DevOps, all the courses will be here, guys. So these are the courses. So the Linux and yeah, if you want to learn Linux, guys, so these are the 75 Linux videos and GitHub videos. So you guys can watch this video. You will get a good understand about the Linux and GitHub. So if you want, everyone can know the Git rise. So this is the 7 videos. So I completely explained in Git and GitHub. So if you want a cloud, you guys can watch this cloud DevOps guys, DevOps video. So you can watch it in the AWS also. Okay. Yeah. So right. Yeah. So source code management, Git, something like Git provides a version control and collaboration for the application teams. Git stores and track the application to the source code. You are also working like a Git, right? A Git and GitHub. The repositories can be hosted on the GitHub, GitLab, and Bitbucket. Developers can create the branches for the future and the bug fixes. So pull merge requests are used for the code review and after approval, code is merged into the target branch. So this will be explained in the Git and GitHub, guys. This entire information will be explained in the Git and GitHub. You guys can watch this Git and GitHub full course. You will understand how it implements the Git and GitHub in the real-time environment. So real-time environment. Understood? Yeah. So on the build process, after pushing the code into the repository, source code is converted into something that can be deployed. For example, you write the code in the Java or Python. So for example, Java. So where we can deploy that Java code, the Java code will be deployed on the Tomcat server. The Java code will be deployed under the Tomcat server. For example, so for example, okay, for example, so this is the server. Where we can deploy our code, we can deploy the code in the AWS Cloud, for example. Okay, so this is the AWS. AWS is the cloud. Okay, so AWS is the cloud provider. Okay, where we can deploy our application. You can deploy your application in the AWS cloud. Okay, so in this AWS cloud, you can deploy the application. So, for example, where you can deploy your application, you can deploy your application in the server. Finally, a server, right? So, what is the server? Dell PowerEdge R710. So, for example, so this is the server. So in the server, so why we need to learn Linux? So in the real time, most of the applications are deployed under the Linux OS only. Deployed under the Linux OS. Something like you need to install the Java Tomcat here because of your application is developed through Java and Tomcat. So Tomcat is the web server. You already know the Tomcat, right? So you need to deploy the code into the Tomcat web server. You need to deploy this code into the Tomcat web server. Tomcat knows only jar or var. Tomcat knows only jar or so dot jar. You already know, right, guys? Dot jar or dot var. So right. So Java, how you can write the Java code dot Java, but dot Java is not recognizing by the Tomcat web server. So what does he understand? He understand only the dot jar or dot var. So we need to convert the dot Java to dot var or jar, right? So we need to convert from dot var to dot jar. So for example, Java through the Maven or a Gradle. Maven is the build tool. So we can convert from jar or var. So Python package dependencies and application files. Build process downloads the dependencies and performs the automated checks. So to resulting artifact is stored in the artifact repository. So in the continuous integration, so check out the source code, install the dependencies, compile and build, run the unit test, code quality and security checks, create and publish the artifact. So the application environment, developers and testers need to enough Linux knowledge to understand the runtime environment. Many enterprise applications run on Linux servers, so understand files, permissions, process, services, networking, disk memory, and logs. So common commands ls, cd, grep, ps, stop, df, free, chmod, systemctl, colon, tail. So AWS. Okay, so what is AWS? Where the applications run. AWS provides the cloud infrastructure used to host the modern applications. Host the modern applications. Host the modern applications. So what is that? EC2 computer engine, computer application server. RDS is nothing but a managed database. S3 is nothing but a storage. VPC is nothing but a network. IAM is nothing but a access control. CloudWatch is nothing but a monitoring and logs. Load balancer equal to distributed application traffic. Distributed application traffic, continuous delivery and continuous deployment after CI succeeded. So who will do the CI? So developer will do the CI. CI is nothing but a, what is the CI guys? CI is nothing but so continuous integration, check out the source code, install the dependencies, compile and build the runtime units, quality, code quality and security checks, and create and publish the artifact. .var or .jar. Okay, so this is the development team will do it. What team will do? DevOps team will build the infra and deploy the code. Development team, QA team, and UAT production. So after CA succeeds, the application is promoting through the environment. Once the CA succeeded, the application is promoted through the through environments, development, QA, UAT, production, CI/CD tools, automate deployment steps, Jenkins, GitHub Actions, GitLab CI/CD, Argo CD, approvals and automated quality security gates can be added before the production. So development, QA, and the UAT is nothing but a user acceptance test. Then production, it will deploy to the production through the CI/CD tools. So container-based deployments, you already know about the container-based deployments. Docker provides a consistent package for running an application. Application is packaged into Docker image. Image contains the application required to run the dependencies. Image is pushed to the container registry. The image can be deployed to Kubernetes or other container platform. It provides a consistent way to run the application across the environment. So what is that, guys? Complete development to deployment flow. What is the development to deployment flow? So something like a developer develop the code Java and Python and push it to that code to GitHub, GitLab and Bitbucket. Then build the code in the CI, build test quality. So we can build the quality. So we can get the jar or var. It will push it to the artifact repositories, jar var dockers, and deploy a Linux AWS Kubernetes. We can deploy into the AWS. So then QA team will do the functional and integration testing and production. So something like a production, right? Once we deploy that production, that users will use it and will monitor the logs, metrics, select. So this is the complete development to under deployment flow, guys. So what we will do in the real time, first developer develop that code and to deploy into the and push it to the GitHub repository. Then CI build the test quality and so var or jar and it push to the var will be stored under the artifact. From artifactor we can deploy it into the Linux environment or AWS, the cloud, AWS cloud and Linux through the Kubernetes. And after that we'll develop that QA team will test the functional testing and integration testing. Then so production will deploy into the production. Production users will be using and monitor and logs and monitor the alerts. So this is the complete development to deployment flow, guys. This is a complete development to deployment flow. I will show you this flow. Okay. So what is this? The developer develop that code. What is that? Developer develop that code. That code is in .java. So we need to convert by using Maven. .jar or .var will be converted through the build tool. It will convert through the build tool. It will convert from Maven .java to .jar or .var. Something like what developers do. Developers will do so developers will do the up to integration. Up to integration. Integration is nothing but a so .jar or var. So .jar or var. So .jar or var. So it will integrate to so dot jar or var maven tools. So once the development team develop the code and test it in the integrate the development. So in the developers, developer will do the say dot jar or dot jar or dot var. Once the dot jar or dot var converted, right? So who will Okay, so once the developer from integration dot jar or dot variable, so something like who is nowadays DevOps engineer, DevOps engineer will deploy the code, or operational engineer will deploy the operational engineer will deploy the code into the servers. Okay, so developer will integrate the code and operations team will deploy the code into the server. For example, fb.jar or var. 1 second. Okay, who will develop the code? So who will develop the code? That code will be develop that code and deploy into the server. The testers will test the application. So so they can test the application in their environment. For example, browser, the Google Chrome browser, the URL something like what we are. So writing some www.facebook.com. What is that? Facebook.com. It will open the home page of the Facebook, right? It will open the home page of the Facebook, something like a www.facebook.com. So what is this? It opens the home page. So this page was developed by developers. You are guys developed this page, but this page, the code is deployed under the here, but it will comes from the here. The page comes from the here through the network where page once you hit the www.facebook.com through the HTTPS. You already know about the HTTPS. What is HTTPS, guys? What is HTTP or HTTPS?
Hypertext transfer protocol.
Uh,
Protocols.
so yeah. So what the code is converted into the page, right? Hypertext transfer protocol. So what this text is a normal text, right? This is the normal text. So hypertext. So if you are seeing in the anything you are seeing in the browser, right? This is the hypertext. Hypertext transfer protocol. The text will be transferred as a hypertext in the browser. Okay. So in this code is deployed in here. That code is converted as a page and came it here. Came it here. Now you understood? So developer develop that code and push it to the repositories. What repositories it will push? It will push it to the Git or GitHub repository. What is that repository? Is nothing but a storage where you can store the data. What data you are storing here? You are storing the code here. What this is? This is the GitHub repository. What this is, guys? This is the GitHub repository. What is the GitHub repository? I'm showing you. Do you have an account on GitHub, guys? So how you are pushing your code? You are pushing to code to the repository or in your laptop only. You guys can try if you watch this recording, right? You will understand the how you can create the GitHub repository. This is my GitHub repository, Hare Krishna Cheruku 866. And whatever my materials, right? All these materials, something like a 360-degree Fessers Linux AWS batch. So okay, so all these batches. Recordings will be here only. If you see, this is the all the courses, guys. You can watch these courses in the 360 degree. Okay, so Ansible material, AWS materials, Kubernetes, Jenkins, Git materials. So everything will be I push it to my repository. I push it to my repository. This is the GitHub. GitHub is the storage medium. Storage. You can store your data into this GitHub repository. Whatever the developer develop that code, right? That code will be pushed to the GitHub repository. Okay, developer will push the code into the GitHub repository. Once it is built, once it is developer develop that code, right? We need to build the code through Maven, jar or variant. So how you can convert? You can convert by using the Maven build tool. Which build tool, guys? Through the Maven build tool, developer build the code dot jar or variant. So who will deploy, guys? DevOps engineer will deploy the code into the servers. So once it is done, right? So that QA team will once done that, so the artifact is building, right? Once the artifact is building, we can push it to the artifacts. So what are the artifacts, guys? Artifacts are JFrog, Nexus. So what this is, guys? So this is the JFrog artifactory. So okay. So what is that? Whatever the artifacts will be in the JFrog only. So artifacts in the JFrog only. So JFrog is a leading liquid software company providing unified software supply chain platform. JFrog, a universal binary repository manager serving a single source truth of packages, Docker images, and AA models. What is that, guys? It is the package where our jar packages, Docker images, and AA models will be stored under the JFrog artifactory. JFrog artifactory. So once the your package jar will be there in the artifactory, then we can deploy into the servers. So we can deploy into the servers. We'll show it to you guys. Okay, so we'll show it to you. Yeah. So environment is nothing but a dev environment and QA environment, prod environment. So okay, what I need to show. Hmm. Yeah. So what is that? Something like Jenkins is the CI/CD server. So whatever the developer develop that code, right, that push it to the repository. This repository is the GitHub repository, and from the GitHub repository, we need to build the code. How we can build the compile, code review, unit testing, integration testing, and packaging via char. So finally, your integration will be there. So we can push this to the Artifactory, and we can deploy it into the servers. Finally, we can deploy into the servers. Guys, understood? Yeah. So from this Docker image, we can push it to the Docker Hub repository or artifact repository. Then we can pull that image to the development environment, QA environment, and the production environment space. Development environment and QA environment and the production environment. Okay. So the same way nowadays applications are onto the monolithic and the microservice. Guys, you guys can learn or you guys can ask your who is your trainer. You guys can ask what is a microservice, what is the difference between monolithic and microservice. Okay, so monolithic and microservice. So nowadays our applications are deployed in the Kubernetes. So this is the container. As a container, your application will be deployed here. Okay, so guys, you can ask your trainer too. So what is the difference between monolithic and a microservice? Okay, monolithic and a microservice. Understood? Yep, guys. So deployment, and then QA team will deploy the application and the production users production and will the end users will be used in the production. Then monitor the application. Monitor the application. What developers and the testers should know, guys. So developers should know Git build tools, APIs, Linux basics, AWS basics, logs, and deployment concepts. So what testers will do? Testers also Linux basics, AWS environments, APIs, logs, databases, networking basics, and CI/CD concept. Both should understand how code moves from source control to a running application. The objective is the collaboration with the DevOps and the cloud teams, not becoming the DevOps engineers. Okay, so real world example. So a realistic path Java application from code to production. So developer pushes the Java application to the GitHub. Jenkins pulls the code and runs the Maven build test. A Docker image is created and pushed to the registry. The image is deployed under AWS-based Kubernetes cluster. The tester validate the application in the QA environment. So after approval, the same release into the production environment. So right, a CloudWatcher application logs used for the monitoring. So CloudWatcher application is the monitor. What is that coding skill? Help to build the application. Git helps teams to collaborate on the code. Linux helps you understand the runtime environment. AWS provides cloud infrastructure. CI/CD automates build, test, and deploy. And DevOps bring these practices together and deliver the software. Okay, so deliver the software. Now we understood, right, guys? How developer will work and how so we need to so developer nowadays in the real time environment, so developer will maintain the development environment. You need to connect with the cloud, you need to connect to the server, you need to deploy the code, you need to test the code. So then QA team also connect to the AWS, connect to the Linux, and deploy the code on our own, on our own. So that's the reason nowadays developers also need to know the Linux and AWS basics. Linux and AWS basics. Guys, understood? Linux and guys, understood? So workshop on AWS and Linux. What is that, guys? AWS and Linux. So developer need to know the environment. Guys, so in my company I'm working, I'm a real-time employee. So before I use it to develop the code, everything something like the CI/CD will be built, so build the infra, CI/CD, everything we build. Then so now we are handling our environment, dev, QA and QA as well, prod also will taken care by the development team. So DevOps, QA as well as prod also will be taken care by the development team. So I am a DevOps solution architect, right? The deployments will be before the deployments will be taken care by our team for prod, but nowadays, so we are giving deployments also to the developers. Prod deployments, prod deployments also development team. Prod deployments also given to the development team. Now you understood, right? You guys need to understand all these DevOps and Linux and AWS tools, because of developers and QA also need to know all these tools nowadays. So you want to join, I want to join as a developer. I don't want to involve in the environment, deployment and everything. Nowadays everything through automation, right? You should know everything. You should know everything, guys. Guys, go to my YouTube channel. In my YouTube channel, I provided all these things, guys. Or else you guys can if you have a Udemy, you guys can go to Udemy, and my courses are on the Udemy also. In the clearly I mentioned, you guys can purchase that at least a 400 or 500 rupees. You can purchase it and you can learn it from me. So right. So what is that? This class duration is 10 a.m. Sorry, 9 a.m. IST to 12 p.m. IST. Okay. So who is the trainer? Who is the trainer, guys? Trainer is Mr. Hari. I'm AWS DevOps Solution Architect, guys, with 12 plus years of experience. Okay, 12 plus years of experience. So, okay, and current roles. My Current role is AWS DevOps Solution Architect. Current role is AWS DevOps Solution Architect. Okay. Skills. My skills are what skills? I know Linux, multi-cloud. I know Azure, Azure, GCP, AWS, Oracle. I know all these clouds and Kubernetes and Docker, Terraform, etc. Okay. So, and I am a Linux foundation. What are the Kubernetes, right? I am the affiliated partner for the Linux also, guys. So, whatever the write the exams in the affiliated partner, so you will get the 50% discount if you use my code HURRY30. Okay. So, what are the prerequisites to learn this course, guys? Are prerequisites are nothing. So prerequisites are nothing. So what we will cover in this course, guys, we'll cover the introduction to development to deployment. Okay, SDLC, waterfall, and Agile. So right, as a once Agile methodology came into the picture, the CACD I show you right already. So introduction to cloud computing, introduction to cloud computing, and Linux OS, Linux commands, shell scripting, okay, and we'll cover the cloud computing, introduction to cloud computing, right? In the cloud computing, so we will cover AWS basics and new services like EC2, S3, EPC, and the database. So we'll not cover all these things, guys. You guys can go to my YouTube or Udemy. You guys can watch that, right? Okay. So introduction to development deployment, you already understood. SDL, so you already understood. So introduction to cloud computing, Linux OS, Linux commands, and the shell scripting. Guys. Okay. Yeah. Introduction to cloud computing. Before that, I will cover. So what is this, guys? Development. Development team is responsible. Guys, what is the development team responsible? What is the development team responsible for? What developers will do in the real time? Guys, speak out, guys. Development team is responsible for.
Develop the application.
Yes, very good. Develop the. How you are developing the application? Responsible for writing the code as per the client, as per the client request. Right, guys. Client wants a clients wants a software, something like Apollo or Medplace or whatever that healthcare purpose they want a software. what developers team will do, development team is responsible for writing the code as per the client requirement. So as per the client requirement, and once the development is completed, once the development is completed, the operation teams means nothing but a DevOps team, DevOps DevOps team DevOps team is responsible responsible for deploying and delivering delivering the project to the client, delivering project to the client, right guys? So what is that? So once a developer develop that code, right, so the DevOps engineer will deploy the code into the server and will give it to the client, will give it to the client, right? Understood? What is that? In the real time, in the real time, by using by using the DevOps by using the DevOps process, by using the DevOps process, the development team and operations team will work together to make sure the project is delivered to the client within the given estimated time. Given estimated time. You guys understood? So this is nothing but a development team and operations team, DevOps team will do and deploy the code, deploy the code. Understood? So now you understood the introduction to development and deployment and waterfall methodology. So now introduction to cloud computing. So what is cloud computing? Does anyone knows what is cloud computing? Does anyone knows what is cloud computing? So what is cloud computing? Something like providing, what is that? Providing on-demand IT resources. What resources, guys? IT resources over the internet, internet is called as cloud, over the internet called as a cloud computing. So what is that? Over the internet, they are providing the services. What is there, for example? AWS services. What they are providing? They are providing the services. So what are those services? Okay, so compute services, servers and containers. For this, they are using the computer EC2. So storage service is S3. Okay, and VPC network is VPC. Okay, and database is RDS. Okay, RDS. So okay. So what are the tools, guys? We know. We need to know storage, RDS, compute EC2, and VPC. So these all are the basic services. These all are the basic services. foundation services. What are the foundation services, guys? RDS, EC2 compute, and S3, VPC. Okay, so these all are the foundation services. These all are the foundation service in AWS, for example. Foundation services in the AWS S3 and RDS, EC2 and VPC. So these four are the foundational services. What this? So these four are the foundational services. Yes, understood? Okay, so these four are the foundational services. Okay, you need to know these four services. So what these four services are in the which cloud, guys? Which cloud these four services are in the, guys? Which cloud? So every cloud having the four these foundational services, but the naming convention should be different. So the naming convention should be different. So what this is, guys? This is the AWS cloud. AWS Cloud. So we call it as a storage is nothing but a S3, compute is nothing but a EC2, and networking is nothing but VPC, and the database is nothing but a RDS. Database is nothing but a RDS. Guys, understood? So these all are the services in the AWS Cloud. These all are the services in the AWS Cloud. So providing on-demand IT resources over the internet called as a cloud computing. How they are giving it? They are giving it in the over the internet. They are giving it the over the internet. EC2, RDS. So S3, VPC, S3, and networking. These services will be provided by the AWS. Okay. Cloud computing. Providing on-demand IT resources over the internet called as a cloud computing. Okay. So there are several cloud. There are several cloud providers available in the market. Available in the market to provide resources over the internet over the internet. What are those? AWS, Azure, and GCP. What is that, guys? So AWS, Azure, GCP. So AWS, Azure, there are several cloud providers available in the market to provide resources over the internet. Over the internet, IT resources means so IT resources means one project to the client. We need to set up infrastructure. We need to set up the infrastructure. How we can set up the infrastructure? If you want to deploy application, right? So AWS infra. So we need a infrastructure for three type architecture. For example, so what is this, guys? So this is the front end, this is the back end, and this is the database. So for this, we need this infrastructure. Who will provide, guys? AWS Solution Architecture will provide this AWS three-tier architecture. What? So one thing like this is the EC2 instance, EC2 instance, EC2 instance. Okay, so this is the front end, this is the back end, and this is the database servers. All these are the database servers. What is this, guys? So this is the front end. What this is? This is the front end. Front end is nothing but if you are providing username password for right front end. So front end purpose you can use the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, right? So back end purpose we can use Java. So this is the back end servers, Java server, and this is the database servers. Database servers. Okay. So front end servers, back end servers, and the database servers. So this is the architecture of the AWS. So if you want to develop a WhatsApp, if you want to develop a WhatsApp, okay. So for example, this is the WhatsApp app. What you need, guys, initially WhatsApp came as a chat and contacts. Chat and contacts. This is the user application, user experience, chat contacts. This will be provided by the so this in architecture will be provided application architecture will be provided with the application architect and for building and deploying and code so for that purpose we can build so we can deploy this code in this so code in this infra for this AWS we are using for this we need to build these many services for the WhatsApp application deployment we need this much resources WhatsApp application. So for the deployment, WhatsApp application deployment, we need this much AWS infrastructure. AWS, so infra. So AWS infra we need. Okay. So we need AWS infra. Guys understood? If there is no infrastructure, if there is no, if AWS need not providing this infrastructure, so right, where we can deploy this. So before cloud, what are they, guys? Before cloud, what is there? So before cloud, we can deploy the application in the data centers. Where we can deploy our application, we can deploy the application in the data center. Everything we need to create our own data center. What data center, guys? Data centers provides the rental space to deploy your servers. Data center data center servers. As understood? So this is the data centers. So where our application? So where this? Yeah. So this server we keep it in this data center. What they are providing? They are providing the rental spaces to keep your servers. This is the servers. Okay. For example, this is the server. Your applications, your servers will be keep it in this data center. Okay. So before the cloud, what how they are deploying the code? They are deploying the code in the data centers. What this is? This is data centers are using before the cloud. Before the cloud, they are using the data centers. Okay. Yeah. So if you don't have a cloud, if you don't have a cloud, what you need, guys? So we don't need this. So purchase the computer, purchase the servers to run our application, set up the network for our computer, set up the room for run our servers, set up power connection for the computer, set up the power backup to run our application. Okay, computers 24 base, set up AC server room, purchase the data centers for our application, recruit the administrator to configure everything required for the application run, take a security guard to protect our server room. Okay. So setting up application infrastructure is costly operation and it's a time-taking process in the data center. Time-taking process in the data center because of everything will be created by our own, right? So for that purpose, we need a time, right? So cloud, instead of we are purchasing and setting up infrastructure, so we can take the help of cloud providers. So what are the cloud providers, guys? Cloud providers are, guys, what are the cloud providers? AWS, who providing the cloud? Guys, who will provide the cloud?
AWS, Azure,
Hmm,
GCP.
very good. What is that? AWS, Azure,
Azure.
and GCP. So these three are the three big cloud platforms. What these three are the three big cloud platforms. What they're providing the AWS, Azure, and GCP. What these three are the cloud, what these three are cloud
Cloud
providers.
platforms providers.
Mm. So who are the cloud providers? The cloud providers are AWS. AWS is nothing but a Amazon.
Web server.
Yes, very good. Amazon Web Servers. Okay. So what they are providing? They are providing the servers over the web. Who is Amazon? That's the reason AWS. Amazon company provided the web servers, servers over the web, over the internet. Call it as a Amazon Web Services. So AWS is nothing but a Amazon Web Services, Azure, GCP, IBM, OCA, Alibaba. So these all are the cloud providers, guys. These all are the cloud providers. So these cloud providers, data centers. What data centers are providing? Infra as a service. What they are providing? Infrastructure as a service. What is that infrastructure as a service? IaaS. What is that, guys? What a data center provides? Data center provides only infrastructure as a service. You need to build the server. You need to install the software. Build the server. Install the Oracle software. Build the server. Install the Java Tomcat. Build the server. Install Apache HTML. Okay. So we need to everything we need to do it. But here, so cloud they provide as a service. So they have cloud provided as a service. Okay. So S3 service, VPC service, and IAM service, EKS service, ECS service, compute service, storage service, networking, RDS, all as a predefined environments as a services. Predefined environment as a services. So cloud providers are available in the market to provide the infrastructure for the rent. What they are providing? They provide in the infrastructure for the rent. So here they want to build or buy the server, build the server, get the code from the data center, everything our own. So it will be cost effective and time taking process. So these all are provided as a service and for the rental basis. What is that? Pay as you go. Pay as. So what is this? Pay as you go. Pay as you go is nothing but a whenever you use the service. What are the services? Whenever you use the service, you can pay the.
Sir, can you say the data centers and infrastructure as a services once again?
Yeah. So what is data center? So right. So we need to keep this server. So we need to keep this server in the data centers, right? So for example, where we can deploy our server, we can deploy our code, we can deploy our code in the server. But where we can keep this server initially, we can keep these servers in the data centers. Where we can keep the servers, this is keep these data centers. So what is the data center? Who provided the data centers? So for example, Control S. Control S is the data center. Asia's largest rated for data center networks is the controllers. So what is this? Controllers is the hey guys, yeah. So controllers is the data center. What they are providing? They are providing the largest data center. They are providing the service and they are providing the infrastructure. Controllers data center. Okay, so controllers data center. What they are providing the servers and services for our infrastructure to deploy our infrastructure. You can keep that servers in the data center and controllers, they will charge it. So you can deploy your So you can deploy your servers and infrastructure. Everything you need to manually configure. So without helping the controllers or everything. So what we need to do? So we need to something like a front end servers, back end servers, database servers. We need to buy the Dell PowerEdge and keep it in the data center. Then we can install the Linux. So we can install the Java, Tomcat on the back end, front end Apache, CSS, HTML, and the database Oracle. We need to change. What data center will provide only infrastructure as a services. What data center provides infrastructure as a services. Okay, but in the developers are will use the servers in the developers and testers will use the servers in the only 9 to 6 or 10 to 7. Right, guys? Okay, but production servers will be using 24 by 7 because of that is the live server. The end users will connect to the 24 by 7. But the development team environment and dev environment and QA environment will use only 8 hours. The remaining 6 hours also we will pay the money in the data centers. So for that part, cloud came into the picture. Pay as you go means whenever you use the server, that time only we can pay the money. So whenever the developer came into the office, right, he will start the services, he will start the servers and they will deploy the application and they will test it. Whenever he leaves from the office, then he will stop the servers and he will move it. So the developer use it from 10 to 6 or 10 to 7. That time only the charges will apply. But in the data center, but in the data center, so we can, if we use or if we are not use, we need to pay the money. So that's the reason why people are moving from data center to cloud because of one reason is pay as you go. One reason is pay as you go model is. So what is data center provides? Data center provides only IaaS. What is IaaS? Infrastructure as a service. Once we provide the infrastructure, we need to install everything. Right. So if you give the pay as you go model, is people converted from data center to cloud? No. We need to provide something different than data centers also. So data centers provides only IaaS, but cloud provides IaaS. Okay. IaaS, PaaS, SaaS. So these all are the cloud services. What cloud services are provided by all the clouds? So what cloud services provided by all the clouds? What are the cloud services? The cloud services are software as a service,
Platform as a service, software
software
as
as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. What are those? These all are the cloud services. These all are the cloud services. So these all are the cloud services and these all are the cloud providers. So what are the cloud services in AWS, guys? What are the cloud services in AWS? What are the cloud services in AWS? What are the cloud services, guys? So what are the cloud services in AWS? RDS?
IAM,
Tell me. Foundational services, RDS, EC2, S3 and VPC.
EC2, Amazon S3,
Yes,
Amazon
S3,
RDS,
EC2,
ELB,
RDS, VPC, EKS, ECS, Route 53. How many services they
DynamoDB.
provided? Yeah, they created 200 plus services for all usage, media, something like AML, all these services, 200 services will be 200 plus services will be there in the AWS. So S3, EC2, RDS, VPC. What is EC2? EC2 is nothing but a server. So what is that? EC2 is nothing but a server. So S3 is nothing but a storage. RDS is nothing but a database. VPC is nothing but a networking. What is? So VPC is nothing but a networking. So AWS provided services. These all are the AWS provided services. But what are the cloud provided services? Guys, what are the cloud provided services? So what are the cloud providers? These all are the cloud providers.
Cloud.
So what are the cloud providers? Cloud providers, cloud provider services are, what are the cloud provider services? So cloud provider services are IaaS, PaaS,
PAS,
SaaS.
SaaS.
IaaS is nothing but infrastructure as a service. PaaS is nothing but a platform as a service. So SaaS is nothing but a software as a service. So what are the cloud providers, guys? What are the cloud providers? AWS, Azure,
AWS,
GCP,
Azure, GC.
GCP, IAM, OCI, Alibaba. So these many companies are providing the cloud platforms. Cloud platforms. So what are the basic cloud services? Infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. Okay. So what only data center provides? Data center provides only IaaS, infrastructure as a service. But all the cloud providers provides the services called as a IaaS, PaaS, SaaS. What is IaaS? Yeah, IaaS. Now you understood. They will provide the infrastructure. They will provide the only infrastructure. Okay, only infrastructure. Downloads. Okay, my GitHub account having all the Linux and the AWS material. So what this is AWS material. So AWS EC2 instance creation. Okay, understood. This is the one. AWS material. Why guys? Why my internet is very slow? Our system. So what is cloud computing? Now you understood. They are providing the IT resources over the internet is called as a cloud computing. So why we go for cloud computing? Because of pay as you go and they are providing the IaaS, PaaS and SaaS. History and origins of cloud computing. What are the history and origins of a cloud computing? When it started? Characteristics of the cloud computing, types of the cloud services. What are the types of the cloud services? Software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. So cloud implementation types, public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. Okay. So what is a cloud service? Services and solutions that are delivered and consumed in a real time over the internet are called as a services. When you store your photos online, web, email, social networking sites, or you use the cloud computing service. So what is a cloud computing? Cloud computing is a delivery model of computing services over the internet. It enables real time development and delivery both range of products, services, and solutions. So cloud computing is a style of computing where massively scalable IT capabilities are provided as a service across the internet for the multiple external customers. So what is a cloud computing? So cloud computing and software resources that are delivered on demand service. So storage services, application services, database services, networking services, these all are the services. So why we go for cloud computing? Lower computing cost and improved performance, reduce the software cost, instant software updates, unlimited storage capacity, increase the data reliability, device independence, and always on, anywhere and any place. So free from the maintenance and no need to know about it. What is the origins of a cloud computing? In 1996, supercomputers, 1999, the first milestone of arrival, and 2000 launched the Amazon Web Services, but 2006 they launched the Amazon EC2 and S3. So 2008 they started the Google app, Azure, everything they are starting. Okay. Yeah. So flexible pricing. So cloud service layers, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and application as a service. So what is that, guys? Infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. So IaaS is the delivery of a technology infrastructure as an on-demand scalable services. PaaS provides all of the facilities required to the support the complete life cycle of the building and delivering web application and services entirely from the internet. Software as a service is the software delivery methodology that provides a licensed multi-tenant access to the software and its functions remotely as a web-based services. Okay. So what is that? What they will provide in the infrastructure as a service? So servers, networking, storage, data centers, firewalls, load balancers, platform as a service. So what is a platform as a service? Middleware, something like development tool, database, and Java runtime. Okay, I will tell you. Now you understood the infrastructure as a service, nothing but they will provide the infrastructure. Okay. So what is a platform as a service? For example, you are the developers guys. He doesn't know how to build. If you took as a AWS infrastructure as a service, you need to install the Linux, you need to install the softwares like Java, Tomcat, RDS, Oracle databases. The developer doesn't know how to install the softwares in the Linux. Who will know? So Linux engineers. If you took as a platform as a service, for example, you know how to develop the code, how to convert the code. You need a you need a infra. So infra means we need a front end, back end, and a database. These need to install the softwares also. They need to install the, so for example, Apache installed here, and here you install the Java and Tomcat, and here you need to install the Oracle databases. So who will install this? If you took platform as a service, if you took the platform as a service, so they will install it and they will provide it. You just deploy your code into the server. You just deploy your code into the server. Okay. So if you took as a platform as a service, everything will be created by their own. Everything will be created by their own only. So right, middleware, development tool, something like a Web 2.0 application runtime, databases, Java runtime. So right, that will be platform as a service means they will install the software. Software as a service. So if you took the software as a service, everything will be created by infra will be created by. So if you took that as a platform, so it comes under the infrastructure and platform, everything will be taken care by the cloud providers. If you took as a software as a service, infra will be handled by that cloud, platform also handled by the cloud. Even the application WhatsApp, Facebook, or any application creation also they will take care of it. If you took the software as a service, it will automatically come the infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. So for example, Gmail or webmail, whatever the mail, ERM applications, everything, they will develop that, they will create it, they will install the software and they will deploy the code. So this is nothing but a, if you take infrastructure as a service, they will provide only this. If you take the platform as a service, they will provide the infrastructure as well as on platform. So then you just deploy the code. If you took software as a service, they can take care by everything. Okay, so they can care by everything. This is nothing but our data center. So everything will be taken care by our you only. Networking, storage, servers, virtualization, OS, middleware, runtime, data, and application. Everything will be installed by the our own. But if you took as a IaaS infrastructure as a survey, up to OS it will be installing. Networking, storage, servers, virtualization, OS up to here. So we will take care of the remaining thing which will be taken care by the our own only. So if you took as a pass. So networking, storage, servers, virtualization, OS, middleware, runtime, everything will be created by our that AWS provider. So you just need to take care of the application and data. So if you took as a software as a service, everything will be taken care by the cloud providers only. AWS, Azure, GCP, networking, storage, servers, virtualization, OS, middleware, runtime, data, and applications. Okay. So now you understood the IaaS, PaaS, and the SaaS. Guys, understood? What is IaaS? What is PaaS? So PaaS is nothing but everything. Application deployment also taken care by AWS only. Application deployment also taken care by the AWS also. So if you took as a software as a service, everything will be taken care by the cloud provider. If you took as a platform as a service, so up to platform they will deploy, they will build and maintain. So if you took as infrastructure, they will build and maintain the infrastructure as a service. So cloud providers, cloud services, and cloud environments. So what are the cloud environments, guys? What are the cloud environments? The cloud environments are public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. What is that, guys? So cloud environments are the public cloud, private cloud, and the hybrid cloud. Public cloud, private cloud, and the hybrid cloud. Yes, understood? So cloud implementation or cloud environment, public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. So public cloud owned and managed by service provider who and made available for the general public or a large industry group. So private cloud operated slowly for an organization, may be managed by the organization or a third party, limited access to the enterprise and the partners. So hybrid cloud is a composition of two or more clouds, private and public, bound together by the standardized or proprietary technology that enables data and application portability. So what is the conclusion, guys? Cloud computing is the fastest growing part of network-based computing. It provides tremendous benefits to customers for all sizes, simple users, developers, enterprises, and all types of organizations. Okay. So what is AWS? Now you understood the uh, core functionalities of the cloud computing. So what are the core functionalities of the cloud computing? So cloud providers. Guys, tell me who are the cloud providers? Who will provide the cloud? Who will provide the
AWS,
cloud? AWS?
AWS, Azure,
Mm, mm,
GCP,
mm,
IBM,
mm.
Alibaba.
Alibaba, OCI, Oracle Cloud. OCI is nothing but a Oracle Cloud. Okay, these all are the cloud providers provided by the client. What are the cloud services, guys?
IaaS,
SAS, PaaS, as.
Mm, yes,
Yes.
IaaS. IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. IaaS is nothing but only infra. PaaS is nothing but it will
Platform.
comes under the infrastructure as well as software install. So if you take as a software as a service, so everything will be taken care by the cloud. Okay, so what are the cloud environments or cloud types? Public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. Nice, understood? So these all are the core functionalities of the every cloud: IaaS, PaaS, service, public, private, and hybrid. Okay, cloud providers. Okay, so now you understood. So AWS. AWS is the cloud provider. AWS is the cloud provider. So introduction to AWS. What is AWS? Benefits of using AWS. History and origins of AWS. AWS components, AWS services, AWS regions, and AWS availability zones, and AWS edge locations, and AWS certification. Okay. So what is AWS? So what is AWS, guys? AWS cloud provider. AWS Amazon Web Services are a collection of remote services offered by the Amazon.com over the internet to build and run an application. Amazon Web Services are a robust, scalable, and affordable infrastructure for the cloud computing. AWS provides compute, storage, and database services, quickly provisioning the IT needs. So, what is the AWS? AWS is the set of cloud computing services. AWS is a flexibility, availability, and scalability. AWS is the elasticity, scale up and scale down as needed. So, we can get the resources instantly. AWS is a fully on-demand services. So benefits of using AWS. What are the benefits, guys? Pay-per-use model. So instant scalability, reliable and redundant, security. Most services are via accepts simple REST API, service level agreement, availability, support. Okay. So AWS computing platforms. So what are the AWS computing platforms? So AWS global infrastructure, availability zones, regions, and edge locations, networking, database storage, and compute. And what are the foundational services? Guys, what are the foundational services? Compute, storage, database, networking. What is a compute service, guys? What is the compute services? So what is the foundation services? So what are the foundation services, guys? So what are the foundation service? Compute. Compute is nothing but a EC2. So storage. What is the storage? Is nothing but a S3. Database. Database is nothing but RDS or a DynamoDB. So what is networking? Network is nothing but a VPC. Guys, RDS is the database service. Compute service is EC2. Storage service is S3. And network service is VPC. Guys, understood? The foundation services.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so foundation services. So these foundation services are something like a EC2 service, S3 service, RDS service, and VPC services. Amazon VPC services. Got you? Yeah. So AWS services, what are the AWS services, guys? AWS services, these all are the services. So EC2, Lambda, S3, Elastic Storage, Glacier, Cloud Front End, so Directory services, RDS services. Okay, RDS services, these all are the services. Okay, who is this, guys? Okay, so what are the services, guys? AWS services. AWS is nothing but Amazon provides a various types of services such as below. EC2 service. So similar to the standards of VPC is called as a instances. So what we call it as a instances. Instance is nothing but a servers in the a server or virtual machine in the also AWS EC2 service is EC2 instance. EC2 instance is nothing but a virtual machine in the service available in a variety of sizes. So 613 MB to 64 GB of RAM. All major operating systems are supported. All major operating systems are supported. S3 is nothing but a cloud storage, highly scalable. Some companies have a PBs of data, highly available. Data is stored in the multiple data center. RDS relational databases, MySQL, SQL, Oracle databases, variety of sizes, high availability and available for the high availability and available for the cost read replication, scheduled backups, Route 53, DNS, high availability, works well with other AWS services, fast and secure, paper zone and million queries. So cloud front end, content delivery and network, Glacier data archiving, DynamoDB, Elastic Cache. So right, these all are the services. These all are the compute service, storage service, database services, networking service, administration security services, deployment and management services, analytics services, application services, okay, mobile services, enterprise application services. AWS regions, AWS regions are completely isolated from each other and are in the different parts of world. AWS regions are a collection of data centers, availability zones in AWS. So each region has set of AZs. All AZs are region connected through the high bandwidth. Cost vary from the region to region. A default region is US East 1. What is that? A default region is US East 1. You can modify whatever you want. Okay. AWS region data centers are spread across the globe. What is that? Data centers are created spread across the globe. There are 9 regions: East, US East, US West, US APAC, and Gulf Cloud, US West 2. Okay, and South America. We are using all these three zones, regions. So AWS availability zone subset of regions. So there is an extra region called as a AWS Gov Cloud region, but this can only be used by the government agencies. Low latency. Every region has a minimum of 2 AZs. So AZ is nothing but a something like availability. Every region having the availability zone, availability zone, availability zone. Okay, edge locations are the important part of AWS infrastructure. There are currently 40 edge locations. They are isolated. They are located in most of the major client cities around the world and are used by the cloud front end and Route 53 to distribute the content nearest to the end user. So there are so AWS certifications, guys. AWS Certified Solution Architect Associative, AWS Certified Developer Associative, AWS Certified SysOps Administration Associative, Professional level, AWS Certified Solution Architect Professional, AWS Certified DevOps Engineer Professional. Okay, Solution Architect, I am the Solution Architect and Developer will create the developer access and the SysOps Administrator will create the SysOps Administrator. Guys, understood? Isn't introduction to AWS EC2 benefits. AWS, no, you understand how you can create the AWS account. AWS account, how you can create the AWS account. The same like as a Facebook, how you are Gmailing, how you are creating your AWS account, right? The same way you can create the AWS account also. So you need to sign up the AWS account, right? For example, AWS account login or create. AWS.amazon.com. What is that? AWS.amazon.com is the website. So guys, there is a free tier account. So what is a free tier account? AWS free tier account get started for a free with the up to 200 credits because of how you can explore the AWS. You can explore the AWS by using a AWS free tier account. So what is that? AWS. So free tier account. When you create a new AWS free tier account, you get $100 in the credits immediately. As you explore the key services, you can earn up to 100 more. That up to 200 over the 6 months to build, break, and things experiment with no charges and no surprises builds on the free plan. The account closes on its own 6 months after you open it or when your credits run out. Whichever comes first, you won't be charged unless you convert it to the paid plan. So what this is the free plan. So what are the compare the plans, benefits, free plan and paid plan? Receive up to 200 credits and free usage of select services and access to the all the AWS services limited to the select services and build up the usage and scale workloads beyond the credit and promotional credits not eligible for. So if you took as a paid plan, you can take anything. What they will provide? Amazon EC2, S3, Aurora, RDS, Transform, DynamoDB, Backstory, all the services are the free services. Okay. Now you can create an account. Click on the create an account. What it will asking. So how I can take this as a white background, right? Does anyone knows?
What happened, sir?
So I want to change this background from black to white.
From dark mode to white.
Yeah. How? So where I need to change it?
Not in words, sir. General setting.
Hmm.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Hmm.
Go to Design tab.
Design tab.
Click Page Color and select colors.
Why is it not changeable? design, view, switch modes. Yep, yes. Okay, leave it. No worries. So the account creation. So go to the portal.aws.amazon.com. Okay, enter your email and account name. So we need to provide the email and account name for the first step. The second step is go to a mail account for the verification code. So it will be asking the verification code. Then choose the personal radio button option. Fill your details. So you can fill the details. Okay, then use the credit card or debit card details to fill and it will charge the 2 rupees for the verification, guys. Okay, so then the step enter your contact details for the verification, then enter the verification code which you got your mobile number, choose the plan option, free tier account or something like. Then congratulations. So now you can able to you can able to create the account and enter the login URL for so enter the login is something like aws.amazon.com. It will redirect to the that console.aws.com console.aws.com. Okay, so if you want to, guys, you can reach out to my number 9667217997 or something like cheruku.harikrishna@gmail.com. Okay, yep, thank you, guys. This is nothing but a creation of AWS account. Now you can able to create the AWS account. Okay. Now you understood the AWS account creation. Okay. Once you created the AWS account, now you can sign in our AWS console. AWS aws.amazon.com. It will redirect to so sign into console. Once you click the sign into console, console.aws.com. By default it will be US North or something like so, right. It will connect by using two ways. One is the root user account. You just use the root user account to log in. Okay, and the email this one. Next, so 1 second, guys. I need the MFU. Artifact means jar or var is nothing but a artifact. Sir, what do you mean by logs? Logs is nothing but something like whenever you log into the AWS and whenever you log out the AWS or a Facebook or a WhatsApp. So that time the developer created the code for writing the logs. So that logs will be created under the S3 bucket. Okay, Soumya and Vaishnavi Reddy, sir, will you share the PPT after the session? Yes, I will share it. So can you share the PPT? Yeah, I will share it. No worries. Okay. And 1 second, yes. So meanwhile, you guys can go to the YouTube and subscribe my account, guys. Something like something. So this is nothing but a guys. This is nothing but the AWS console. What this is? So this is the AWS console home. So when you log into the AWS, this is the AWS guys. Okay. So all the services. If you go to the all services, click on the service, view all services. Yeah. So AWS provides these many services. What are those? Compute service, developer purpose, machine learning, cloud and financial management. So front end, web mobile application integration, customer enablement, containers, storage, blockchain, satellite purpose, database purpose, quantum technologies, management and governance. So migration and transfer. Okay, networking and content delivery, media services. Okay, so analytic services, security and identity compliance, business applications, end user computing, Internet of Things, game development. For this purpose, we are using the all these cloud computing services. What they are providing? They are providing the all the cloud services for every environment, for every development, or for every entity or a domain. Okay, so for us, what is that? EC2. For us, what is that first? The first one is EC2. What is that? EC2 service. So what is the EC2 service, guys? So what is the EC2 service? So introduction to AWS EC2, benefits of using EC2, Amazon EC2 use cases, Amazon EC2 principles, instance types, Amazon mission image, and selecting the EC2 instance, AWS regions and availability zones, launching the EC2 instance step by step. So what is that? Amazon EC2, which is also known as a Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, provides a resizable computing capacity in the Amazon Web Services. It is a simple web service interface, allows you to obtain and configure capacity within the minimal friction. It provides you with a complete control of your computing resources and lets you run on Amazon proven computing environment. EC2 is the core service of AWS cloud platform and launched in 2006. So these are the virtual servers, also called as an instances. So we can use these instances pay per use basis. So benefits of using EC2: easier and faster, elastic and scalable, high availability, and cost effective. So what are the typical use cases? Application hosting, content delivery, e-commerce, media hosting, web hosting purpose, EC2 price models. What is that? Free tier account. So you guys can create your free tier account or many of the tiers, on-demand instances, reserved instances, spot instances, and charged instances. Okay, so these are the instance types, pricing model. Instance type is specified with the mapped to the hardware specification, CPU, and the memory. So what is that? Instance type influences the performance cost. So T2 micro, T2 small, T2 medium. So for this, we use the GB of CPU and the RAM. Use cases: development environments, build servers, code repositories, low traffic web applications, and early product experiments, small databases, we can use it. So medium. So these are the based on the CPU and the memory, it will change the model type. Small and mid-sized databases, data processing tasks that requires additional memory, catching fleets, and for running backend servers for SAP, Microsoft SharePoint, and other enterprise applications. C3 large, C3X large, C3 2X large, C3 4X large, C3 8X large. This is for vCPU and the memory. So high performance front end fleets, web servers, on demand batch processing, distributed analytics, high performance since science and engineering applications, and advertising and batch processing, MMO gaming, video encoding, distributed analytics purpose we are using. R large, RX large, R2X large, R4X large, R8X large. So we recommended memory optimized instances for high performance databases, distributed memory caches, in-memory analytics, genome assembly and analysis, larger deployments of the SAP, Microsoft SharePoint, and other enterprise application. So Amazon mission image, server template or a VM image comes with the pre-installed OS. AMA can be launched to create a instances, a variety of a pre-built AMAs in the catalog. Existing AMA can be customized and saved independent of the configuration. Every AMA is unique and identified. So what is that? Launching an Amazon EC2 instance step by step. Choose the region, choose the availability zone, choose the AMI, choose the instance type and configure. This is the launching a Amazon instance. Okay, EC2 instance. Click that EC2 instance. Okay, launch instance. So what you need to provide? You need to provide the, for example, 360 degree. What is that, guys? 360 degree. 360 degree. So we can use the free tier, guys. Whatever the free tier eligible, right? You guys can use that free tier eligible. This is the free tier. I'm selecting the Amazon. Amazon Linux, CentOS Linux, everything is same, guys. No worries. Okay, so 360 degree server name and we selected the Amazon. Then EC2 instance, this is the pre-tier eligible. And key pair, we need to create the key pair. Okay, create a new key pair to connect the server. What is this? 360 degree. 360 degree, we can create a for a PPK for connecting the putty. If you want a detailed explanation for this, guys, you guys can go to my YouTube, and there will be a AWS and DevOps and Linux are there. You guys can watch those recordings. That will be a from scratch to zero to hero series will be available. What are those series? Zero to hero series is available. You guys can go through and practices. For example, DevOps full course. So AWS DevOps, so zero to hero courses, so Git and GitHub. So only Linux, we have a Linux also. And so this is the 30 videos for the Linux. You guys can go through these videos. You will get a good knowledge, guys. I will explain over the real-time examples. So once you learn this, right, it will be easy for us, for you to guys to sustain in the company. Okay, nice, very good. Yeah. So instance is successfully created. Go to the instances. Yeah, this is the 360 degree instances. The server creation is created within the second. This is the 360 degree. If you select this, right, it will show the details, IP address of this public IP, private IP address of the server, and other monitoring, status alarm, security, networking, storage, everything will be displayed in the details, guys. So how you can connect the server? You can connect the server if you go to the details. How you can connect the server? So connecting the server in two ways. This is the web console way, and so the web console way you can connect it by using web console. Connect it. Yes, this is the server. This is the server. Sudo su. Yeah. So this is the Linux machine. Cat slash etc red hat r os IP release cat slash etc os hyphen. Yeah. So this is the version Amazon Linux, and this is the so Amazon Linux is installed, guys. So you can connect via putty also, guys. If you want how you can use the putty, you can go to my YouTube videos. Right, it is not installed. How you can connect from your Windows machine by using putty. Okay, download the latest version of putty. How you can download it and how you can connect. I will show you. Okay, this is the 64-bit. Then download this and because that is the Linux machine, that is the Linux machine, and you are using the Windows. Both are at different platforms, so we cannot connect with the same. So if it is the same platform, we can connect it easily. If it is a different platform, we need to install the third party software Putty to connect the Linux server. Putty to connect the Linux server. Is understood?
VirtualBox also
We can install the virtual box. You guys can watch my recording. So what is the virtual box? How you can install the virtual box? So directly we install the OS in the AWS. So you are asking about what is virtual box, huh? What is virtual
No,
box, huh? Hmm?
no, sir. Through VirtualBox also we can connect the Linux with Windows.
Yeah, that is in the data center or if we create the virtual box in our home only, in our Windows machine, so then we can connect it. But we install the virtual machine in the cloud. That's the reason we can connect, so we can connect via Putty. So virtual box is nothing but a server. That server is installed in our cloud, on our data center or something like in our home, in our Windows machine, then we can connect the virtual box. But the virtual machine is installed on the AWS. That virtual machine is a Linux. That Linux is installed under the AWS. Why we need a virtual machine, virtual box in our Windows? Why
Okay,
this is
sir.
okay? Okay, it is asking us, sir. That's the reason it is not installed. Okay, finish. How you can connect the Linux machine through Putty? Putty is a third-party tool. It provides the SSH. How you can connect the Linux? You can connect the Linux through SSH is nothing but a secure shell. So what is the DNS name for this instance? So then we can connect it easily. What is this? This is the DNS name. Copy the DNS name and paste it here. Okay, and so if you go to the SSH auth, in the auth credentials, you need to upload the PPK private key file, PPK. Okay. The downloads. So 360-degree, open, accept. Okay. So if you want to change the settings font, go to the settings and appearance, change, bold, 18. Okay. Upload. Yeah. So now you can connect by using EC2 user because of say CentOS or Red Hat or Linux. We can use this EC2 user. Now let's go to the sudo su. What is this, guys? This is the Linux machine. This is the Linux machine. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, right? Yeah. So what are the commands we can use for this? 1 second, I will tell you. Users, username, and the desktop. 1 second. 1 second. Mm-hmm. Reference. So Linux architecture, we'll discuss about the Linux architecture. So Linux architecture. So what is the Linux architecture? Okay, so what this is, guys? So this is the Linux architecture. What is this hardware? Under the hardware there is a kernel. Under the kernel there is a shell. Under shell there is application compilers, CDVA application. So these all are the okay. So this is the Linux architecture. So this is the Linux architecture. In the Linux architecture, what is a hardware? Hardware is the Dell PowerEdge R710. What is the hardware, guys? So this is the hardware. So in the Dell PowerEdge R710 kernel, what is if you install the OS? So first it will be the kernel. What is the kernel? It is the core component of the Linux operating system. It is responsible to execute our commands. It is responsible to interact with the hardware components. So memory allocation, process allocation, and will take care by the kernel. What is that? It is the core component of the operating system and it is responsible to execute our commands. It is responsible to interact with the hardware components. So memory allocation, process allocation, and will take care by the kernel. Will take care by the kernel. So what is the shell, guys? So this is a shell. What this is? Echo. What this is, guys? This is nothing but a shell. Why this is not responding? Duplicate. So what is this? EC2 hyphen EC2 hyphen user sudo su. Okay, there is a ideal time, guys. So stop. Okay, what is this? This is the shell echo dollar. Echo dollar shell bin bash. So what is this? Bash. What is this? Bash. SH is nothing but a shell. Born again shell. What this is, guys? Bash born again shell. What this is? This is the shell, guys. Okay. So shell is the outer layer of the Linux operating system. Shell act as a interface between the user and kernel. Shell is the software program that allows you to interact and access the computer. User can enter the commands in the shell prompt, which will be executed by the shell. So since the only means of communication through shell is text, PWD, LS, MKDIR, CD, CAT, etc., it is known as a command line interface. So what it is? So this is known as the command lines interface. See, Linux is the CLI. What are the types of shells? So bash shell, C shell, KSH shell. We have the different types of shells. But how do you know which shell is using in our Linux machine? So we can use this command to know the shell prompt. To know the shell prompt. So Linux file system hierarchy. What is the Linux file system hierarchy? So Linux file system hierarchy. So what is the Linux file system hierarchy, guys? For example, so this is the Linux file system hierarchy. So what is the Linux file system hierarchy? This is the Linux file system hierarchy. Slash is the top level directory. Bin, boot, dev, etc, home, usr, var, mnt, sbin, root, opt. All these are the Linux file system hierarchies. What is this, guys? Linux file system hierarchy. CD slash. What is the slash? Slash is nothing but a top level directory. Bin, boot, dev, etc, home, media, mnt, opt, root, run. root, run, sys, temp, user, var. Okay. Okay, so we can use cd slash. Slash is the top level directory, all the directories. Whenever you install the Windows machine, the same. So whenever you install the Windows machine. So if you install the Windows machine, some of the files and folders will be created automatically, right? So for example, this is so something like script files, program files, x86, users, Windows. So whenever you install the install the Windows, some of the folders are created while installing the OS. So the same way, so whenever you install the Linux, some of the folders will be created. So and those what are those purpose of those folders? So in the Linux file system hierarchy, whenever we install the Windows or Linux OS, few folders or directories will be created while installing the OS. So what are those directories and which purpose of those directories are created? In Windows we call it as a folder, and Linux we call it as directory. Folder is nothing but a directory in the Linux. What is that? Folder is nothing but a directory in the Linux. What is the slash? What is the slash, guys? So slash is nothing but it is the top level directory and it is the parent directory for all the directories. So root is the home directory for the root user. It is the home slash home. What is the slash home? Slash home is the home directory for the normal user. Slash boot, it contains the bootable. What is that? Slash boot, it contains the bootable file for the Linux like VM, Lineage, greppo, init, ramfs, slash etc. So slash etc contains all the configuration files. So slash etc passwd, slash etc group, slash etc shadow. What is the user? What is the slash etc user? User by default, so softwares are installed by the slash usr directory. What is OPT? So OPT is the top level directory. OPT is the optional directory for the third party softwares to install, like Tomcat, JBoss will be installed under this directory. What is a OPT? This is the optional directory. Third party softwares will like Tomcat, JBoss, WebLogic. So right, this will be installed under this directory. Bin. What is the bin directory, guys? Bin is nothing but it contains the commands by all you normal users and the root users will install these commands. So dev is nothing but a device information. It contains the device files like hard disk information. So hard disk information slash var. So it contains the variable data like logs, OS logs, main logs, cron logs, everything. Media is nothing but a DVD ROM, CD-ROM, removable media. USB is nothing but a pen drive, guys. Pen drives will be keep it under the pen drives. Okay. So what is this? What is this, guys? This is the user prompt. What is this? This is the user prompt. Whenever you log in, right, you will get this prompt. Whenever you log into the server, you will log in as a EC2 user, and the password you will get the this user prompt. So this user prompt for the user prompt is the text displayed in the terminal indicating that your system is ready to accept the commands. So if you see this prompt, right, your system is ready to accept the ready to accept the to run the commands. To run the commands. Guys, understood? So what is this? You logged in as a root, and this is the local host name or mission name, something like a twilt. This twilt is nothing but a so present working directory. This is nothing but hash is nothing but the user profiles. Hash is nothing but a user profiles. Okay. What is that? So this is this one also. Duplicate session, you can take the duplicate session because of there is a ideal time, guys, so it will automatically time out when uh, time completed. EC2 icon user. Okay, sudo su. Understood? So what are the commands? Something like pwd, present working directory, present working directory, and mkdir re. So it will create the directory. How do you know ls? List of directories and the files, cd slash etc. Okay, ls. ls in ls is nothing but it will show the list of files and directories, but you cannot confirm this is a directory, this is a file. How do you know? So by using ls -lrt options, okay, lrt, you can see the permissions. So your starting letter is hyphen is nothing but a file. Starting letter is hyphen d is nothing but a directory. The starting letter l is nothing but a link file. This is the link file. And so in Windows, it's like a shortcut. How you are creating the shortcut. So d is nothing but a directory. Hyphen is nothing but a file. So what this is nothing but a permissions. RWX. This is the file or directory permissions. Okay. Yeah. Now you understood. So what is a file, what is a directory under this? So change directory. How you can go to the directory? So cd hurry. So if you want to go from one directory to another directory, you just click it. You just click it. It will automatically. So it will automatically. Right. This directory too. You want to go to this directory. Okay. Or else you want to go to this directory users. Okay. So I want to go to this directory. You just double click, but here we need to give the cd command. cd is nothing but a change directory. pwd is nothing but a present working directory. cd. If you want to go, if you are in the pwd where you are in the cd hurry. You want to go back one step, you can use the cd dot dat. So now pwd where you are under the root directory. But here you just go back, click the back, it will come back. But here cd. If you want to go to that directory, or if you want to go to the you want to go back from this directory. You want to go back from this directory. How you can create the directory? By using mkdir cd pwd. Okay. Yeah. So file and text processing tools. What are the file and text processing tools, guys? So you want to create a file. So touch is the command. Touch can create the file without data. So something like a touch file name. So for example, uh, AWS class dot txt. Okay, you created the txt. Cat is nothing but you can read the file class dot txt. Okay, so nothing is there. How you can read, write, modify the data. Vi we can use it. Vi uh, Linux class dot txt. Okay, so what is this? Insert something like you can write something. I'm writing this. I want to save this file. So shift colon WQ. It will save the file. Okay, you want to read the file. Cat linux.txt. Okay, this is nothing but a fetch cat VI. VI is nothing but in the real time we are using the VI, guys. Okay. Head and tail. Something like I want to cat var log var log cat var log messages cd var log. What is this? Cloud output log. Let r cloud output log. Okay. This is having two pages, but it is showing the last page of this. If I use the cat, I want to display the top 10 lines. Head, we can use it. Head. So it will display the top 10 lines from the given document. So what is head? Head. What is that, guys? Cloud. Let's head cloud hyphen init hyphen output dot log. Right. So what it will display? It will display the only top 10 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it will display the only top 10 lines. Okay. So tail, I want to display the bottom 10 lines. Head is nothing but a top, but this having a 2 pages of data, but I want only last 10 lines. These are the last 10 lines of the data. 10 lines of the data. I want to grep the data in this file. How you can use? You can use the grep command. Grep -I is any error or something like what is that? Seconds. So I'm searching the seconds. What is that? Cloud output dot log. So what is this? So it will search in this log, cloud init.log, it will search as the seconds. Wherever the seconds are there, right? It will be show it in the seconds. Okay. So next less. So less is nothing but it will display the data line by line or page by page. Less cloud init cloud init logs. You see, right? So if you enter, it will display the line by line. It will display the line by line. If you enter space, it will display the page by page. But we don't know how much percentage it will completed, right? For a file. If you want to know, we can use the more command. So less command, so less and more commands both are same, but more will display the percentage. You see, guys, more it will display the percentage. You see here 2%, 4%. I'm using a space button. So I'm using the space button. Now I'm using the enter button. Enter button, it will show the line by line, line by line, line by line. It will display the pages or documents line by line or a page by page. It will not show the percentage for the less. It will show the percentage for the more. It will show the percentage for the more. What is that? Copy and copy. What is the commands, guys? Copy and move commands. What are the copy and move, guys? As of now, now you understood the PWD and we understood the cat, touch, VI, head, tail, less, more, grep. But how you can copy the file, how you can move the file, right? How you can copy the file and how you can move the file. So how you can copy the file? How you can copy the file or directory from one location to another location. So copy source option and destination. So what are the copy source option and the destination? Copy is nothing but a copy. Source is nothing but what is the source? So Linux class, Linux class. So I think it is CD ls Linux class. Copy Linux class into something like 360 degree, 360 dot 360 degree class dot txt. So just I'm copying the content of the Linux class to 360 dash class with a new class, new txt file. Okay. So something like I want to copy this 360. I want to copy this 360 to /opt. They just copy. Original file will not discuss. Just copy the file. Okay. So what is the move command? What is the move command? Okay. Move command. We can use the move command in three ways. So rename the file array directory, move the file array directory, hide or unhide the file array directory. So hide or unhide the file array directory by using move command. So what is that move command? So move source and destination. Move something like what is that? Linux. Linux class.txt to moving is nothing but it will move. The original file will move to the OPT. So there is no Linux class.txt. But if you go to the OPT, it will see the Linux class.txt. This is nothing but a moving. So I want to rename the file. So Linux class, right? I want to rename it to Hari class txt. So by using move command, Linux to Hari class dot txt. What is that? So it's renamed from Linux class txt to Hari class txt. Okay, it's a renaming. So moving, renaming, and hiding and unhiding. So I want to hide the file. So in Windows, you just right click and hide the file. But here, how I can hide the file? If you use the ls command, it will show the file. But I don't want to show that file. How we can hide that file? By using mv command, hurry class.txt. So before the destination, you need to keep the hurry class txt. Okay, ls. Is it showing hurry class dot txt? Because if it is, now it is hide. So it is hide. I want to unhide this. How you can see the hidden files? ls-la command. How you can see the hidden commands? Hidden files also. You can use the ls-la command. You can use the ls-la command. Guys, understood? How I can unhide the file, guys? How I can unhide the file? So same command, but the before the source you can add the dot. Before source you can add the text, something like ls. Now I am able to see the text. Now I am able to see the text file. Understood, guys? So move is for renaming, moving, hiding and unhiding. Hiding and unhiding and delete. How you can delete the files, guys? You can delete the files by using delete option, rm option. Rm is nothing but a remove. Rm. So rm, what are the files are there? Rm, something like rm, just a file name, AWS class.txt. So if you are not specifying any options, it will be asking yes or no. Yes. Okay. So if you use rm-rf, what are the options? Recursive and forcefully. So we can recursive and forcefully. It is asking AWS rm-rf 360 degree.txt. Okay, let's see. Is it asking yes or no? No, it is not. It is asking because of if you provide the -rf. If you provide the -rf. Guys, understood? Guys, you can understood? Yep, guys. Okay. So how you can see the disk information? So df-ht. What is this, guys? Disk information. How you can check it? This df-ht. So process. If the process is top command. So top command is what are the processes are running. So same like as a task manager. Same like as a task manager. What are the processes are running. The same like what are the applications are running. Same like as the top is the so right. So what is that PID user? So which user is running? What is the services? Okay, this is nothing but a top process will see. So if how you can say ps-ef pipe grep HTTPD. Is that process is running? No, HTTP is not running because of so HTTP is not installed, right? So this is how you can install the packages by using yum install HTTPD. And HTTPD is nothing but a Apache web server. HTTPD is nothing but a Apache web server. Okay, guys, understood? Yeah, we need to install the Apache. Okay, Apache is nothing but a so here, what we install the Tomcat. But I want to install the Apache here. How you can install? You can install the software by using yum command. Apache web server. Apache is nothing but a package name is HTTPD. HTTPD in the Linux. Okay. So once you install the Apache, you can deploy the application. So you install. So then you can check the systemctl status HTTPD. What is that? Systemctl status HTTPD. Sorry. Okay. What is that? So this is you see right inactive. We need to start the web server. How you can start the web server by using start. Now you can check the status. Now it is -2, right? Now it is, see guys, active and running. The web server is running. Now we can deploy the application. Where we can deploy cd var www html. This is the path to deploy our application. Lx so vi index.html or homepage.html, right? You already know HTML. So I'm not perfect in the HTML. Okay, HTML body bg color equal to red. H1 tag, -360° website, close H1, close body, close HTML. WQ, restart the HTTP. Now check the IP address of the server. Okay, go to here and use the DNS or IP address. HTTP colon systemctl stop firewall D. Security, I think security is the problem. Go to the security. SSH here, SSH only, you know. You need to edit the inbound, add rules, custom, all TCP, 0, save the rules. Yeah, you see this. So 360° website. This is the website we deploy, and we will deploy another website also. Let's see. Right? You can upload this, right? I think you know already WinSCP, right? WinSCP is the software to upload the files from Windows to Linux. To upload the files from Windows to EC2. Yes. Is the one, yes, accept. Next install. But how you are installing the software in Linux? Linux you install the software by using yum command. Yum install HTTP. But here just execute a next. It will automatically install. Right. WinSCP. We are transferring the data to the server. Okay, I'm deploying. For example, you are a developer. You are pushing the code to the from your local machine to that server by using WinSCP. So once it is deployed, right, you will see it in the browser. The application is deployed. This is nothing but a deployment. So this is nothing but a deployment. You guys understood? How many files we have, guys? Go, 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 go. If you see here, if you see here, repeat the system, login iPhone user. Okay, sudo is adding to your list that educator. So sudo su hyphen cd/var.wwhtml. I'm removing this index.html rm hyphen rf index.html. I'm removing this website. I'm adding cd slash Yes, understood? So this is nothing but a Dev2 deployment. So if you want to learn more, you guys can watch my YouTube. So that Linux and AWS Git and GitHub, that is all are related to real time, guys. You guys can watch it. Okay? Yes, understood? Guys, any doubts? Yeah, you can go to download all these PPTs in this AWS DevOps material. Okay, and I will send you this recording to I will upload this recording to my YouTube, and I will send it to you guys, so you guys can watch it and see. Guys, any doubts? Hello, guys, any doubts? Akila, Pawan, Mahesh, Dikshita, Gayatri, John. Guys, speak out, guys. Any doubt? So you guys can watch this DevOps demo. You will understand the what developers work, where developers working, and where that in the playlist. Okay, so this is the Linux demo. You guys can watch it. This is the multi-cloud demo. You can watch this if you want. You guys want watch AWS, DevOps, Linux, and everything. Okay. Thank you so much. We'll continue on next week. So all the best for our Broadreach interview, guys. Once again, happy Independence Day.